As a grandparent, you have a unique and special place in your grandchild's life, and you have the opportunity to really make a difference to their future by the way you chat and play with them now. These days, grandparents are more involved than ever in childcare. It's estimated that a quarter of all families with children under 15 in the UK use a grandparent to provide childcare. So grandparents of today are probably spending more time than ever with their grandchildren. You may be aware that lots of young children today are often lacking some of the basic communication skills needed to start school with. Good language skills are essential for children to make friends, do well at school, stay out of trouble with the law and get a good job.
As a grandparent, you're already an expert in interacting with children. You're perfectly suited to the job, as by now you hopefully have a slightly slower pace in life and you can enjoy your grandchildren without all the stresses and strains that come with parenting your own young children. You have the time to play with your grandchild for as long as they want.
The most important thing to remember these days is that actually grandparents play such a vital role in the upbringing of our children, and because they have that vested interest in them, that loving, nurturing relationship with them, that communication is so important, and that can really increase the child's self-esteem and their sense of self-worth. So the more grandparents communicate with children, the better it is for their communication.
You may find that lots of other aspects of parenting have changed since you had your children, but this one fact still remains. Listen to, talk and play with your grandchild from birth, and this will help them to become good at talking and listening.
Tune in.
Tuning into your grandchild's level of communication is the first step. You can do this by following the child's lead. Follow your grandchild's lead in playing conversations.
Try not to take over. Just let them play with the toys in the way they want to and follow them. This will depend on the stage of play development your grandchild is at. Young babies will mouth, grasp and bang objects together to explore them. Try copying their actions with the toys.
Ooh, clever boy. Should I be a mechanic? Shall I give you a hand? Oh, let me see where it's stuck then.
The older the child gets, the more complex their playing becomes. So follow the storylines your grandchild comes up with. This keeps their interest and they'll get more out of your time together. Face to face. Being face to face helps you tune in too. You can make eye contact more easily, and your grandchild will be able to hear your speech and see all the facial expressions you're making. You can monitor their attention levels. For newborns, remember they can't see very far as their eyesight's still developing, and so joint eye gaze whilst you're having a cuddle is ideal. If you take your grandchild out and about, it's worth knowing that recent research by Dundee University has shown that pusher-facing buggies actually benefit children's communication. You can have great face-to-face interaction as you walk along and chat about what you see around you. Press pause.
This is probably the most important way of making sure you follow your grandchild's lead.
Avoid diving in and taking over the play. Instead, press the pause button and take a moment to watch exactly what your grandchild's doing with their play.
Noisy, isn't it, Robin?
Wait for them to invite you in. With younger children, this may be something as subtle as making eye contact or passing you a toy. You might need to wait patiently for them to do this. Older children's cues are usually more obvious. Join in and play. This is the fun part. Bring out the big kid in you and enjoy the playtime. Speak up.
You've tuned into your grandchild now, so it's time to speak up. They need you to provide language so they can learn.
The here and now.
Talk about the here and now, what's happening around you or what your grandchild's doing. This is important because young children's understanding of time concepts like past and future don't develop straight away. They understand more about things they can actually see and experience around them.
This way, you're making your language visual, which helps children to understand and learn new words.
Box! Ooh, tasty. You eating the box, you funny boy.
Newborns and older babies love the special style of talking you naturally use with them, known as motherese or parentese. It has a higher pitch than usual and a sing-song pattern and elongated vowels. It's biologically geared to getting and holding the baby's attention. Provide a running commentary on what you're doing during the day.
Brush, eating the brush. Ugh.
Simple language.
A child of about a year will only understand instructions with one key word. For example, where's your hat? A child of 2 will only be able to follow instructions with 2 key words. Find your hat and shoes. And a child of 3 can understand more. So, an instruction with 3 parts like put on your hat and shoes and wait by the door. So instead of saying, right, let's go upstairs and run your bath now, try bath time. Tap, tap, tap. Tap, tap, tap.
Repeat, repeat, repeat.
Repetition is the key to language learning. Think of yourself as a parrot. You may think you sound funny or boring repeating words over and over, but you're helping your grandchild.
Try using repetitive language associated with daily routines, like mealtime or bath time. That way, the child hears the same language over and over.
Bib on, bib on.
Label anything younger children point to or pick up.
Banana.
Try to avoid using this and that too often. So instead of, do you want this one or that one? Try, do you want the apple or the banana? Cut down questions.
Adults tend to ask children an endless list of questions. What colour is it? How many are there? What are you doing? It's because we want our child to talk to us. But you might be turning the chat into a bit of an interrogation, especially if you don't leave time for your child to respond before you fire another one at them. Avoid asking too many questions. Instead, try
commenting. Turn your questions into comments. Instead of, what colour is the car? You say, look, a yellow car.
Elephant. What a big elephant.
Genuine questions.
Only ask questions you genuinely don't know the answer to. When you ask a child what colour or how many, you're testing their knowledge, but they can learn so much more about concepts like colour and number if you give them the information instead of testing them.
Pondering.
A tip that I use a lot with my own children is to let them be the expert on the subject. Pull a confused face and ask, I wonder, instead of asking a direct question.
Repeat and add.
This is a great way of adding language in at the right level for your grandchild and giving them a nudge onto the next stage of language development at the same time. Toes. Emily's toes.
Repeat back what your grandchild says, then add a word. So, if they're using single words, you use 2 words together. If the child says Teddy, you say Teddy's drinking. Or if they're using 2 words together, you use 3. If the child says Daddy car, you say Daddy's blue car.
Arthur's brushing his teeth. That's right, Daisy. Well done.
Modelling.
Young children make errors with speech sounds because their speech sound system takes time to develop. A child's speech is usually easy to understand by 3 years old, but more tricky sounds will still be developing until around 5 years or older. You can help by simply repeating back words in the correct way for them if they say a word wrongly. Don't ask them to repeat them back for you or try to correct them. They'll simply repeat the word in the wrong way. It helps for them to hear the correct way of saying words without the pressure of trying to correct themselves.
Dolly. Dolly? Which Dolly?
Waiting. Children need longer to process their responses than adults. This can take up to 12 seconds in young children and babies. Waiting's a really useful and powerful strategy.
Yes, want some more? What colour is he?
Black.
We naturally want to fill awkward silences, and so might not leave enough time for children to process the language they've heard and formulate their response. Try counting to 10 in your head before repeating yourself or your question. Taking turns. Taking turns. This is the basis of a good conversation. It's all about balance. Try to match the number of turns with your grandchild. Neither one of you should be taking over the interaction.
We're going to do that together? Good.
I'm going to open that.
Good boy. You going to use this to put some in here? Look, these are the scales, aren't they?
Yeah.
Good boy.
Are they the scales?
Yeah. Now, do you remember we've got numbers on the front?
Yeah.
So you keep putting in some flour.
Extend and expand.
For older children who are using longer sentences, you can help them get a grasp of the language of learning. This is the language and vocabulary they'll be expected to use at school, which will help them to predict, infer meaning, plan, negotiate, problem solve and reason.
Extend and expand your grandchild's talk by providing details.
Now, to help those seeds grow, we need to put some water in just to give them a drink. So do you want to tip some water in?
Relating to the past or present.
Now, normally the sunlight would shine onto the seeds and help them grow.
Yeah.
So maybe when we finish here, we'll put the seeds outside, shall we?
Yeah.
Good.
Explaining.
Hold it up nice and high so the air gets in. Make the cakes come up nicely. Oh, that's brilliant. Oh, that's
Talking about
brilliant.
feelings and opinions.
Cool, these cakes are going to be lovely, aren't they?
Why?
Well, because you're making them.
Projecting into other people's feelings or situations your grandchild's not experienced before.
Cool, that hen, I bet she feels worried, don't you? Because the big bad fox. She's sitting on the hen to protect it, isn't she?
Try out. Love books, love learning. Sharing books with your grandchild is not only a precious activity, it's also a handy behaviour management tool and vital to their developing language skills. The amount a child is read to in the home affects how well they'll learn to talk, read and write. Book time will calm an active child or comfort an upset child. Try to choose appropriate books for the child's age. Cloth, touchy-feely and black and white books are great for newborns because they can only see in contrasting colours. Lift the flat books with colourful pictures and simple stories are ideal for toddlers. Picture books with more complex stories or fairy tales are great for preschoolers and children starting school. Let your grandchild explore the book in any way they want to. Babies will want to mouth and handle the books, so fabric, plastic or board books are great. Remember, you don't have to read books all the way from start to finish. You don't even need to read all the words. Follow your grandchild's lead with the book by letting them hold and touch it, and they'll soon show you which bits interest them. Take this lead from them and comment on the pictures they look at using short, simple sentences.
Look, there's those kites again. Whoosh in the sky.
Bring books to life by using funny voices or props to help act out the story.
And wow. Should we do the lion noise? Here we are.
How about telling stories from your own life or made-up stories without using books? You've got a whole lifetime of experience, stories and knowledge to share with your grandchild, and storytelling is the most ancient way of passing on knowledge and information. Songs for today, words for life.
Children learn language through repetition, and this is why nursery rhymes are like the perfect recipe for creating a talkative child. Each time you sing a song, the words are the same and the rhyme is predictable. This familiar structure gives your grandchild plenty of predictable opportunities to join in. You can encourage this by leaving pauses for them to join in, either with gesture or words.
Miss Polly had a dolly who was
Sit, sit,
Teach your grandchild songs you knew as a child or that you sang with your own children.
Can we play a peekaboo?
They'll associate these special songs with you, and this really supports your bonding. Let your grandchild teach you their own songs too. These might be new to you. This is a great activity. Your grandchild will feel so proud in teaching you something new, and this boosts their self-esteem.
Hills and far away. One little went.
Using technology. Let your grandchild teach you how to use the latest technology, such as games consoles or iPads. This will really boost their self-esteem. You can then add in your wisdom and language. So, if you're playing on a games console together, talk about the rules of the game. What happens first, next or last? Or which bits were your favourite? If you don't live near your grandchild, how about using Skype to stay in touch? Lots of the tips we've covered in this film could be used when you're talking on Skype, like cutting down questions or repeat an ad.
Skype.
Are you there?
Yeah, there she is.
Here, Arthur, yes.
Give her
Are
a
you
wave.
there? Can you see me?
Hi, Nana.
Hi, Gramps.
Limit the amount of time your grandchild watches TV. Treat TV watching like sharing a book. Watch together and talk about what's happening. Once a programme ends, switch it off and do something together inspired by what you've just seen.
As a grandparent, you have the perfect chance to boost your grandchild's language skills so that they're set up for a happy and successful life. Thanks for watching and have fun creating your little talented talkers.